quick turnaround at the Bud. The winter storm of all storms bearing down on Middle America. It won't stop college gymnastics today from Bud Walton Arena. We have an afternoon meet with the Arkansas Gymbacks welcoming in the SEMO Gymhawks, their last chance to get out and about before the winter lockdown. Let's bring you inside. I'm Brett Dolan, Sydney Liverhurt. Thanks for joining us. I know you're out buying up all the last food and batteries in Northwest Arkansas, but this meet will have a different feel, moved up 6 hours in the day.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different. You know, the teams are going to be a little bit different throughout the day, and the crowd might be a little bit lighter, but I'm hoping the energy is still there for this meet.
Well, let's talk vault. Lauren Williams, #1 in the country in this rotation after her performance against Auburn.
Yeah, Lauren had a beautiful 9975 vault last week. I think it might have been a 10, but she got SEC Co-Specialist of the Week for it. And Coach Brooks said she was really special to have the hometown kid have that moment.
No doubt. Let's talk about SEMO. Taylor Engel, Reagan Sams, two very talented gymnasts.
Yeah, Taylor Engel and Reagan Sams are two people Coach Lawson pointed out as having a big impact on this program. Both received MIC honors this week and are hoping to build off that momentum for their team today.
Well, Sams also has a local connection, and for more, let's bring on a reporter, Kennedy Smith. Kennedy?
Brett, this meet just means more for SEMO gymnast Reagan Sams. Reagan returns home today as she's a Bentonville native. She grew up training at Aspire alongside Lauren Williams and Riley Jandorf. Though her parents could not be here today, they were supporting her younger sisters, Riley and Reese, at a meet early this morning at 8 a.m. in Dallas. They weren't able to make it back due to the time change, but I'm joined with a crowd, a fan club ready to cheer her on today. Brett?
I know it's disappointing for the parents, Sydney. They had it planned out. They could watch something in the morning in Dallas, race back to Arkansas to see their daughter perform. Not that far from Bentonville, but Mother Nature had other ideas.
Yeah, they're still really excited to be back for her and to have this experience.
Well, Jordan Weaver, she's been a bit under the weather. I think she's the last person in the entire program to get sick, but she wouldn't miss today.
Oh, of course not.
Her team's off to a good start. They competed at Minnesota, put up a better score in a conference win against Auburn. Coach Lawson is an alum of the SEMO program, and in this, the 50th year, maybe that means just a little bit more to it. It's going to be a celebration all year of SEMO gymnastics. And I know she's excited for her team to compete head-to-head against Arkansas and not in a try or not in a quad.
Yeah, she said that, you know, it makes them almost feel like we are here, we deserve to be here. You know, she said something about the experience that Engel had with regionals, and they said, you know, they do the same gymnastics we do. We just need to look as confident as they do. So this will be a good experience for that team today.
No doubt. Ashley Lawson and her Gymhawks are here, and we're just about ready to go. Let's talk about some of the points of emphasis for the vault, Sydney.
Yeah, you want the highest start value. So Cammie, you'll see she does a 995 start value boot. You want those 10-0 start values. The harder they are, the easier you get the bigger scores. But the most important thing, fly high, stick the landing, as they say on Friday Night Heights.
Well, Cammie Weaver ready to get things underway. She did not compete in the vault against Auburn. She'll lead off today.
Very nice, Yurchenko full, slight hop back. I'd like to see her get a little bit more block off the table. It was a little flatter than you're used to, but very good first vault of the season for Cammie. It's nice that they have depth on vault. I can't remember the last time Arkansas had as much depth on vault as they do this year. To see Cammie back is great.
Yeah, the depth will be a part of this meet that we'll talk about with both of these teams. They feel like they're in a really good spot. Sometimes you can rest gymnasts and allow some opportunities for others around some exhibitions as well. Hernandez, a California native, had a 9.675 in a meet in Chicago last week. I believe there were 5 teams competing, so that was a lot.
That is a lot, and hey, it preps you for the postseason that early in the season.
They had a military appreciation night in their first home meet, and she walked her mom on the floor because mom was in the military, so it was a special night for that family.
Nice first handstand. Maloney, a little bit of a leg separation there, loose feet into that bail. Good start so far, just needs to really focus in on that form and landing here. Blind full, double tuck, Good start for the bar rotation. I would like to see, like I said, a little bit cleaner of form. She was a little bit late on this blind full. You want to see them finish on top of the bar in the handstand position so that they can get a little bit more rotation. But like I said, a hit routine for that first up. Nice start.
So we're off and rolling in this afternoon start here at Bud Walton. Leah Smith up next off a 9.875 and a stuck landing against Auburn. She's as healthy as she has been maybe in years and excited for a big year.
Huge rear ankle full with the stick. She has become a dart on almost every event on her landings. Like I talked about earlier, that vault is a 9.95, so the less that you can take any deduction on the landing, the better. And honestly, I think that's a 9.9 vault right there at least.
Well, she's pretty happy with that performance, no doubt. It's a 9.825 for Cammie Weaver. We'll wait for the score for Leah Smith and for Hernandez. Amelia May next up. She had a stuck landing right out of the gates in this performance in the meet at the Show Me Center in Cape Girardeau. One of the many Tennessee natives will have performing today along with the Price sisters. Those last few seconds before you begin this.
Especially your first routine up. Got to take a few extra deep breaths there. Looks like she's ready to go. Nice first handstand. Takacha straight to bail. Little close on that bail. Very nice. Pointed toes throughout. Would like to see you keep her feet together just a little bit more. Double tack. Oh, unfortunately, had to take a fall. It looked almost like she didn't get enough push off of the bar. That sounds maybe weird on bars, but coming out of a blind full, you want to have as much of a grip as possible right there. And just looks like, honestly, almost looked like she missed her leg when she's trying to grab on that double tuck. That can kind of throw off your timing. Unfortunate fall, but they still have 4 more routines to go.
How about this young freshman, Allison Cucci? You got excited just when I mentioned her name.
I could talk about Allie all day. She is phenomenal. Uchenko, 1.5 with the hop, very nicely done. She's been really trying to, obviously she had a stick week 1, that was great, but her form was a little loose, so she's trying to put it all together. I think form looked great there. Let's see, huge block off the table. Honestly, I think the only deduction they can really take there would be that hop. Great job.
I know she was excited to compete in Minnesota for the first meet. It was almost a return home of sorts after training with the Twin City Twisters in Minneapolis, even though she's a Rochester native.
And she does not look like a freshman competing out there.
No doubt about that. Here's your points of emphasis for the bars. Already seen that dismount come into play. Hamilton had a 9.7 in the first meet of the season. She's in the 3 spot for the Jimhawks. Leah Smith, by the way, a 9.875 for her vault as the scores begin to trickle in. Hamilton, Missouri native from Springfield. Obviously 6 gymnasts per team compete in each event. We'll have several exhibitions today. Best 5 scores count, so I know Simo would like to drop that second performance there on the bars. Simo last week, they won that Windy City invite. They finished with a 193.350, beat 4 other teams. Arkansas coming off their performance against Auburn over 197. Not sure if we have a scoring issue already.
It looks like there might have been a start value debate. Yes, that is what they're holding up there. They do have a senior in this position. I think that's probably your best situation. A senior's seen it all.
Unbothered?
Unbothered. Taking a few extra, a few extra breaths.
It must feel like minutes rather
eternity.
than seconds.
It feels
yes.
like eternity. Beautiful first handstand, toe on, toe off. To a Ginger, very nicely done. Bit of a leg separation going into that bail. Little short on that. Full in dismount with the step. Pulled on a little bit, so she was close to that bar. I would have liked to see her push out, but that was a great routine after a fall in the lineup and having to wait so long. You see that loose form going into the Ginger. Very nicely done still. And then right there, like I said, a little bit of loose form throughout the routine, but a hit after a fall, that's what they needed to get back on track.
Well, Haley Klein is next up for Arkansas. She had a big step back as she landed against Minnesota, a big step forward against Auburn. She's trying to split the difference today.
Yes, overcompensating a little bit. It's easy to do on this 1.5 vault. I've seen her really stick this landing before. Step back that time. Looked like she was a little bit loose on the table. Still got a pretty nice block and had good form. But with any landing that you're landing blind, landing facing forward, you want to take a step forward that shows you had, too much momentum going forward. Maybe held back a little bit there. Still going to be a great score, 1.5. And she's had a few good scores in front of her as well. So
it's been a big year for Haley Klein, competing in the all-around as well. Had the bronze at Minnesota. Simo obviously would like to drop that 8.875. This is Gracie Jones, very consistent bar performer, coming off some shoulder issues and had a 9.725 right out of the gates this season in the first meet.
Giving herself a little bit of a pep talk before she goes. Blind into a pike Jaeger. Would like to have seen her rotated that a little bit. You can tell she's kind of short on that handstand into the bail. But a very clean routine so far. Blind full, double tuck, to the stick. Great job. They've done a really good job at just throwing away that fall early in lineup. And as you mentioned, consistent. She has just been a staple for their bar lineup, and you can count on her to hit. Great job.
Happy with that performance. Meanwhile, we're happy to see Lauren Williams, again, #1 in the national rankings in vault. Jordan Childs, by the way, is #2, and she had a 10 her last time out.
Hey, that shows how consistent Lauren has been throughout these 2 weeks. I just want her to not put that much pressure on herself. I know coming off a 9.975, your expectation is you want to do that again, if not better.
Because remember, that is a program record.
It is a program record. She looks like she is in her zone, ready to go.
Coming back from injury, Chris Brooks told us yesterday, not only is it possible to come back, but sometimes you might even be better off physically than you were before the injury.
Yes.
Better than ever.
I can relate.
New parts.
Yes, new parts, yep, best way to put it.
Arkansas, a couple of 9.875s from Smith and Cucci. You know, Williams would like to perform better than that. Here we go.
1.5. Slight hop. It's not going to be that 9.975. Still beautiful. I think it looked like she cleaned up her form. I think if they took anything last week, she tends to bend one of her legs in the twisting position. Looks like she cleaned it up there. I would have liked to see her toes be a little bit more pointed. That's being picky, but that's what the judges will take. But I think that's a 9.9 vault right there. And it definitely helped keep that #1 ranking, I think, or at least stay close.
Watching Ava Johnston perform, she starts with that lower bar.
So far, yeah, everyone else has done a board mount to the high bar.
975 leading SEMO last week in Chicago.
Very nice first handstand. Love the toe point. Beautiful Maloney. Bit of a leg separation and into that pack. Little short. Do love her form though. Double tuck. Chest down to a hop. But again, another hit routine. Take a look at that dismount. Double tuck. She honestly has a little bit open of a double tuck position out of that giant full. Very nice to see.
Well, this is Morgan Price. Competed in the all-around every single meet of her career at Fisk. A three-time All-American and put up a 9.9 last week in the vault.
She is unbelievable on every event, but I have said to multiple people, if she gets this landing, it has to be a 10. She has the cleanest form, huge block. Oh, wow.
She was trying to hold on.
So close. I love that arm position. It's to remind her to not open up too early to try to take that step. She did take a little bit of a step in place, but the minute she dials that in, I'm telling you, that's going to be a 10.
See her just trying to
so close.
Stick or freeze that landing.
Beautiful. One of the best 1.5s in the country.
Well, Taylor Engel is up next, and Sydney, she's been competing against Morgan Price for several years.
For even longer than several years. They were club teammates together, and then they both competed against each other. Morgan got that all-around title last year, and Taylor Engel was the runner-up. But it's so fun to see them still competing against each other today.
Coach Lawson said Engel, just a phenomenal person. She's got her nursing degree, so there's a little less to deal with in the classroom now than there has been previously. But she said that Taylor is the epitome of we over me.
Very impressive.
She had a 9.875 last week.
Tua Yeager, would like to see her core stay a little bit tighter throughout. Very nice bail. Finishing up this routine. Blindfold to a double tuck. Stuck. Love that landing position. Chest up. Leaves no question to the judges that that was a stick. Another hit for Taylor Engel. See there. Beautiful. Almost kind of shocked herself with that landing, but great job to the rest of the lineup being able to hit after a fall and being able to throw that away.
They'll be able to drop that 8.875. Arkansas with an exhibition. Priscilla Park will get her chance.
Excited to see her back in the vault lineup. She's had a little bit of a nagging back injury the last year or so getting her back into the groove of things. And again, that depth on vault for Arkansas.
She did have the exhibition in Minnesota with a 9.675.
Yurchenko full with the hop. Again, just getting used to competition again. Very nice to see her back. Another good vault to have, you know, for depth, and if you ever want to rest someone.
Who is this? Got to take advantage of these exhibition opportunities when you can. This is Sydney Crouch, Florida native, a senior. And Sydney, sometimes we think, well, you know, these don't matter because the scores don't count. Everything matters when you're in front of the big crowd.
Everything matters, like you said, that big crowd experience, big arena experience, as Coach Lawson said. Get that pressure. Toe on toe off to Maloney. Loose legs. Good job getting to that final handstand toe on toe off. Very unique dismount. Toe on toe off, pike half. Another hit. Wasn't the cleanest routine, but she's excited. Like we said, it's nice to get that experience, understand what you need to do when you actually are under pressure. So good job.
Both of these teams, again, with their depth issues, and advantages. Feel like they have a lot of competition both in the course of the week and on competition today. Arkansas a little bit behind where they were a week ago, a 49-350 in the vault. We'll be right back. Meet here at Bud Walton Arena. Maybe a better crowd than I expected considering the storm that is coming. Well, we're talking college gymnastics, and Sydney, we're now in week 3. I'm curious some of the teams that you've identified as those you want to watch around the country.
Yes, the SEC has 8 of the top 10 teams in the national ranking, so every meet's going to be a tight one. My number 1 team to watch right now are the Florida Gators. They just have an arsenal of difficulty. They have 10-0 starts across the vault. They have E-passes in every routine. They're led by some senior leaders in Selena Harris Miranda and MJ Frazier, so when they're hitting, they're going to be tough to beat.
Arsenal of difficulty. I like it.
Arsenal of difficulty.
How about the Sooners?
The number 2 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners. They are a brand new team with a lot of young faces. Freshman Mackenzie Eastup has really shined so far. And they still have senior Faye Torres, not at full potential yet, coming off an injury, but you can never count out the Oklahoma Sooners. The number 3 team that I have, Alabama. They have a phenomenal freshman as well, Azariah Ray Akbar, named the SEC Gymnast, not freshman, Gymnast of the Week. She's already had scores of 99.75, 39.6 all around. They started off with their highest opening score in school history. So if they stay hot, watch out.
I'm noticing an SEC theme.
Just a little bit of an SEC theme. My number 4 team is actually the Georgia Gym Dogs. They just came off of a win against the number 2 team at the time, LSU, which hadn't been done in 10 years. They look confident and determined this year. They have a great variety of difficulty. Their floor tumbling is unreal. I'm really excited to see year 2 of Coach Cecile and watching the Gym Dogs take a step back. But it's the SEC. Mizzou, LSU, Arkansas, they could all be in my top 4 as well.
All in the mix. In fact, in the rankings in the top 8, there's 7 SEC teams, only UCLA, the outlier. 1 rotation complete. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second right after this. Right again today at Bud Walton Arena. 1 rotation complete between SEMO and Arkansas. Gymbacks were in SEC competition back on Sunday against Auburn, but Cindy, you mentioned Georgia had the big headline upsetting LSU.
Yeah, that was a really exciting meet. You know, Georgia, growing up for me, Georgia was the team that I always loved watching, so it's really nice to see them get back into the top 10, top 8 at this time, and have some, you know, close competition.
Also talked about Lauren Williams, her 99.75 on vault, the highest vault score in Arkansas history. It's worth repeating, that was a Sunday meet, so then Arkansas turning around not just to compete again on Friday, but Friday afternoon rather than Friday night.
Yeah, like we said, they're just embracing the chaos is the term the coaches use. But it's good to, you know, get those different types of routines and different types of schedules and figure out how your team competes under different situations. So
Chris Brooks yesterday told us that Arkansas normally practices in the morning. They would have an activation, some visualizing. I visualize every morning too that we're not going to get a winter storm that's going to knock out Northwest Arkansas. Not sure if that'll work, but I think Arkansas's philosophy, Sydney, it's us versus us. And, you know, there's a new NQS format favoring consistency. Every week is important.
Yeah, every week counts, even more so now than ever. He said until we're consistently at 197, we're going to put up the routines that we think are going to get us there consistently. And I love that it's us versus us mentality. Gymnastics is such a mental sport, so I cannot agree more.
Kaylin Hamilton did not compete on the vault last week, so getting her opportunity. She's going to lead things off for the Gym Hawks. One big, deep breath before Hamilton is ready to go.
Yurchenko tuck full, very nicely done. Huge block off the table. I think she could have laid that one out. That was a great start. Obviously had a bit of a landing deduction there. I love the block she gets off. She goes up before she twists. Great start.
And a hug from Ashley Lawson. Well, Haley Klein, we've talked about her competing in the all-around in Minnesota, and in Park City, that was because she's added bars to her other 3 events.
It's so nice to see her in her 3rd year be an all-arounder. That's impressive. She's worked really hard to get to this spot, and she has been so consistent for the team. A different release here. Huge. Very nicely done, straight into that bail. Almost caught a little bit over, but no problems. Just that dismount. Double layout. Can she find the landing? She can. Wow, what a way to start off this bar lineup. Great job by Haley.
That's got to give the team a boost when your leadoff comes through with a big performance.
We've talked about it before too, you know, sticks are contagious the more you build up the momentum. I would have liked, maybe she took a little bit of hop, but I'm still gonna say that was a great routine to start that momentum. Would have liked to maybe see her legs together a little bit more in that double A, but wow, that was a great start for Haley.
You've always been a tough judge.
You know, I know what the judges are looking for after so many years.
Haley Keene, a senior, did not compete in the vault last week, so a little different lineup for Simo.
Ichenko half. Big step forward, but another very nice hit vault. That's what Coach Lawson said she was looking for. Just vaults in the right direction, hits. They said the first meet out was a little rough, so it's nice to see them off to a good start on vault over there.
9.625, the first score for Hamilton. Waiting for the score for Haley Klein as Callie Swaney gets ready to go as well on the bars. Now, Callie did not compete against Auburn. She did against Minnesota, had a 9.775.
Like we talked about, that depth, it's so nice to see. Different girls get in the lineup. They're still trying to figure out what makes the most competitive, best lineup for them. Callie has been a staple in the bar lineup. Very nice first handstand. Maloney to pack. Great routine so far. Finish that pirouette within the 10 degrees. A little bit short on that handstand. Get this landing. Small step in place. I know she has very high expectations for herself, but that was another really good routine. Second up. Take a look at that dismount right here. Double layout, love her form. Love that her legs are so glued together. Just that step, but that's definitely something to work off of and improve on for next week.
Nia Reeder up next. She's in her 5th year, and she missed her junior season with an ankle injury, then surgery. Last year just beam, and she struggled a bit, but she is back and better than ever.
Yeah, it's impressive. She has been accepted into PA school, so right now she's figuring out, and they said in her 5th year, this is the best they've ever seen her.
Healthiest and strongest, and she's off and down the lane.
Yurchenko full. Very nice off the table. Would have, like I said, want to see them get those lane deductions, but they told them to focus on big vaults, taking steps in the right direction if you're going to take a step. Would have liked to see her get a little bit more pop off that table. I think she missed a little bit early, but again, another hip vault. That's what they're asking for this week, this early on in the season, to be competitive.
Well, speaking of healthy, here's another one. Leah Smith, maybe as healthy as she has ever been. Didn't have her last year for the second half. Had to deal with some injuries and adversity. She's had the exact same score, 9.875 on bars in the first 2 meets, but against Minnesota, that was good for an event title.
Yeah, I never used to think of Leah as a bar worker. She was, you know, a power gymnast, but her bars this year, she was really locked in. Like I said, she's been a dart on all her landings. So far, nicely done. Bit of a leg separation throughout. Want to work on that form. Let's see if she can find this dismount. Of course she can. She tends to just find the landing every single time like a cat. But great routine. Like I said, there were some form issues throughout. But that dismount, she flares it open. Wow.
Arkansas has such a unique mix of tremendous newcomers, veterans, and even veterans that didn't compete last year because of injury who are back in the fold.
It's so nice to see how they've meshed together so far this early in season.
This is Jocelyn Hernandez. She improved her score from week 1 to week 2 on the vault by more than a full point, 1/10 of a point.
Chanko full. Good job. She was having a bit of an issue with that in the warm-up. Very excited. Again, taking steps back, getting that energy off the table. Did twist a little bit early, so the judges are going to deduct for that. But so far, they put up a pretty good vault lineup. Right there, you can see she twists early. You want to see them twist parallel with the vault, or blocked parallel first before they twist. But great job. Like I said, so far putting up a pretty good vault rotation for them.
Well, how about another one of the talented freshmen, Avalon Campbell, hit a 9.8 a week ago. Had an ACL tear February-ish of her senior year. It's been kind of a long road back, and they've had to kind of change the dismount and get ready to go to be fully healthy.
Yeah, they said with that ACL tear came some form issues, not being able to really be as powerful in her tap on her dismount, so she was able to change it. They have big expectations for her. It's nice to see her in the lineup. She has such beautiful lines. You can see she does bend that left leg just ever so slightly. Still rehabbing a lot of those muscles. Beautiful pack right there. She had a bit of a hop on this on Sunday. See if she can get it. Stalter straight to a double tuck. The smallest step. Big improvement from Sunday though. That is a very difficult Stalter into a double tuck. Not a lot of gymnasts used to do that in college. See right there. She had it. She just needs to be confident in it, but
you can see Coach Brooks as well. He was kind of wobbling with her.
She had it, but that's, again, second routine ever in college. She definitely can build off of it. It's great to see her get her confidence up there. The
5-star prospect from Oceanside, California. Be curious to see what she thinks of Northwest Arkansas after this weekend, if the snowstorm decimates us. Jaden Kasuth up next.
Chanko full. And I would like to see that block again. It looked like she almost stalled in the air. She had quite the distance. I think she didn't get quite the block up, but let's see, right here, really good entry. That looked better at that angle, so maybe the other angle was just a little weird, but again, another good vault. Like we said, Coach Lawson just really wanted them to focus on taking steps in the right direction. That's what she kept reiterating, so great job.
Coaching never stops. This is Coochie again. Chris Brooks said yesterday she's got 10.0 potential on all 4 events. Well, she had a 9.9 last Sunday against Auburn.
Like I said, I could talk about Allie forever, but I truly believe that she does have 10 potential on every single event. Bars, honestly, I wouldn't even say is her strongest event, but she, like you said, got that bar title last week. Just shows you how talented she is throughout all 4 of the events.
I love it when Chris Brooks said she brings joy with hard work. We all know hard workers where there is no joy. When you can combine the two, that is contagious.
Yes, and that's a coach's dream right there.
See the 9.9 though from Leah Smith, top scorer for Arkansas so far on the bars.
Looks like we're having a judges conference on that last routine. Couldn't see what one of the judges had flashed, but I think there may be too big of a discretion. Oh, that was a quick, quick conference.
Coochie walked away for a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, Simo will hope to drop the 9.55 from Nia Reeder. Free admission today to Bud Walton, and I would say quite a few have taken advantage, more than I thought.
Yeah, it turned out to be a way better crowd than I expected. Like you said, everyone's preparing to lock down here in Northwest Arkansas.
Long wait for Allison. She's doing her best to smile through this. I'm sure she may not be quite as calm on the inside, just in ready to go mode.
Oh yeah, she's a gamer. I'm not that concerned, even though she's a freshman. But like you said earlier, it can feel like an eternity. Really big change in the score there. Went from 9.65 to 9.85 from one judge.
Maybe it was worth the wait.
Yes, definitely.
Arkansas.
Sometimes that works in your favor.
Arkansas opened on the road again at Minnesota. Got some of those jitters out. Came back against Auburn, got the SEC win, but this team doesn't get too high or too low. They just get right back to work, and obviously another little change in the schedule this week.
Great first handstand. Huge pack salto right there. Another hit handstand to Van Leeuwen. Oh, it looks like she hit the low bar, but still able to work out of it. They will take that deduction. Double A to a stick. Way to not let that affect the rest of the routine. She had a bit of a form error in the Van Leeuwen, so I think that's what caused her to kind of hit the low bar. See, take a look right here. She goes, see that separation, kind of caused her to have some difficult timing there, but again, she did not let that phase her. Double A. Great job. And like I said, she's a gamer. She can figure it out. You're going to have those in your career, so she's just starting out.
It's amazing, though, that it didn't affect her at all. Here's Taylor Engel, a 9.825 in week 1. Won the event title with a 9.8 last week in Chicago.
Chenko full. A little bit early on the table. Step back, but like I said, they're looking for a hit vault rotation. Week 1 did not start off so hot. So far, they've improved every single week. Good to see. Get some really great height there. They should be happy with that vault rotation.
Campbell got the 9.775 for Arkansas. Waiting on Cucci as Morgan Price gets her chance. She went to Fisk University in Nashville to be part of the first HBCU program to have gymnastics. This is now the last year for Fisk having gymnastics, but Price comes back reunited with her sister, and it's provided quite a unique and cool dynamic for this program to have the sisters competing at such a high level.
Yeah, and they said they are two very confident gymnasts, and they're very close in age. So, you know, growing up, you had that sibling rivalry, to say the least. But it's nice to have them back a little bit. Time apart was good for them. They're closer than ever, and they've really, you know, continued the culture that Arkansas gym backs have. They're great motivators. They're great leaders. And it's been really fun. They look like they're having a blast out there together.
Again, Chris Brooks put it well when he said it just brings up the level of confidence of the entire team when you have two sisters performing at this level, and then you bring in somebody like Price who can compete in every event. It only elevates the competition to be in the line.
There's competition every day at practice, and they said, you know, we can do what we're doing in practice and bring it to the competition. Like, we can do things we've never done before in this program, which is so nice to see.
See the disparities. Score for Allison Cucci and Morgan Price, waiting for her opportunity.
And she has big scoring potential here. She has a perfect 10 in her career on this event. Very nice. Beautiful. To a bail handstand. Wow, incredible so far. She hasn't quite found this dismount landing yet. Fighting for that handstand. I love to see how hard she's going for it. Full in. To the stick. Man, if she wouldn't have had that little bit of a form section on that handstand, that would have been huge. See right here, I honestly love seeing that. That shows that she was really going for that handstand.
Her expression when she stuck the landing was as if to say, well, of course I was going to stick
yeah,
it.
like we talked about, that confidence right there. It won't be a 10 today, but I definitely think that that will score very well to be able to not have to count one of those 9.7s in the lineup.
Jordan Napolitano, an exhibition on the vault.
Tuck full, very nicely done. That is a vault that I think is ready for the lineup. Like we said, Coach Lawson was really experimenting with the lineup. They've had some freshmen in and out, just trying to see where everyone's confidence remains. A very usable vault there.
Napolitano was another one who walked her father out on the Military Appreciation Day, which was a nice touch. She got her chance, and now Arkansas with an exhibition of their own with Addison Bear, Pennsylvania native. Had an exhibition on the bars at Minnesota and scored a 9.8, which was higher than two Razorbacks in the rotation.
Like we talked about, they have that depth. She just needs to get her confidence there. And one thing I loved that Coach Brooks said is he wants to give so much credit to those that are 7, 8, 9 in lineup, because they're really pushing the 1 through 6 in lineup, and they can also be in that 1 through 6 one day. So
well said.
So
That's
far,
the goal.
So good. Loose form in that Maloney, but that bail was perfectly in handstand. Might be a little short, couldn't really tell from this angle. Just a double A. Small step, but again, we talked about, she's just trying to get her confidence back up. She's really pushing to be in that 1 through 6, and I think it's a very usable bar routine that they'll want to have for that depth later on in the season. And she's young, so she has a whole career ahead of her.
And by the way, Morgan Price at a 9.9 to equal the Leah Smith 9.9 and counting scores for Arkansas on the bars. So Arkansas with a 49.2 on the bars, a little lower than the 49.350 from the vault. Halfway done in this gymnastics meet. And Kennedy is standing by with Coach Lawson.
Coach, your program is celebrating its 50th year. What has it meant to you to be both a coach in this program and having been an athlete?
You know, it's something really special. You know, we've had a lot of people that have laid the path for us, and now we're just continuing to build on that legacy. And so to have a great year starting off and just kind of continue and have our alumni coming back in a couple weeks, we're really excited just to celebrate everything.
Yes, ma'am. And this meet specifically may be an abnormal meet for you, having been on the road and all of the schedule changes due to the weather. You just met with your team halfway through. What's your message to keep this team going?
You know, we just want to settle in. We're a little excited. It's a fun arena. It's a fun atmosphere in here. You know, even with the weather. But, you know, we just want to settle in. We have two of our best events coming up. And so really find those landings on floor and then really just channel our energy on 4 inches when we go over to beam. So.
Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck tonight. Brett?
Celebrating year 50 in SEMO gymnastics. We're going to step aside. 2 rotations complete. We'll be right back to Bud Walton with Jocelyn Robertson.
was just everything wrapped into one. It felt like home.
It's been a dream of hers to be here at Arkansas.
My favorite gymnast growing up was Jordan Weber. Having her as a coach is so surreal. That's my idol.
She's my Arkansas.
Jocelyn is so fun to coach. She loves gymnastics. She's incredibly talented, but also just a great teammate. She's always had that team-oriented mindset.
She brings such energy and enthusiasm.
She wants to be the best that she can be.
When she hits the floor, everybody gathers around. She's the sweetest thing that ever hit town. If you ever see her, oh, you be Arkansas bound.
She loves being a part of this program, and I have no doubt she's going to help us get to greatness.
She's my Arkansas. Arkansas.
Two rotations down, 2 more to go between SEMO and Arkansas here at Bud Walton. Arkansas has gone through the vaults and bars, waiting for the beam and floor. And you heard Coach Lawson from SEMO say these next 2 events, their best as well. And I thought she was pretty honest. Her team maybe just a little bit anxious under the bright lights.
Big arena. Like I said, it's not even the same type of crowd we expected, but it's still a pretty good crowd, bigger than they're used to. But they wanted to just learn from it, take in those nerves. One thing she kept saying is pressure is privilege, and she wanted them to really adopt that mindset. So hopefully going into these last 2, they can settle in and do their gymnastics.
Little pep talk as well before the floor. Jordan Weber, we'll hear from her after this rotation. Good to see Jordan healthy. I know the sickness and illness has worked its way through the entire program.
You're through the athletic department as well, too. But it's nice to see her out there, obviously having your head coach. And these girls are used to their pep talks, all the things. That's kind of a part of the ritual, too. So I'm sure she wouldn't miss it for the world.
First up for Arkansas, Madison Gustaitis. She is a San Jose State transfer, her first year in Arkansas.
It's a very solid lead off on beam. You really want to have that consistency. You know, we had Callista for the last 4 years, so it's nice to see a new face in starting off the beam lineup. Beautiful handspring layout step out. Love her form, love her confidence. Switch leap, 2 switch half, split jump, beautiful. She actually missed that connection on Sunday, and she had to improvise because it counted towards her start value, so she added in an extra leap right into her dismount. She won't have to do that this week.
Seems complicated.
Very complicated, really good way, just thinking on your feet, knew what she needed to do, and she still got a great score. Very nice done, just that step forward. Great routine. Didn't have to improvise this time.
Annalie Phillips about to go on the floor. Let's learn more about her from Kennedy.
Brett, something that people might not know about Annalie, aside from gymnastics, she is a part of the professional pilot program, and she's a part of the ROTC Air Force program at SEMO. She's very busy between 6 a.m. classes, flying 3 times a week, and gymnastics, but she gives it her all on the floor every time.
She flies through the air on the floor. She flies through the skies. That's just a 30 for 30 waiting to happen between the ROTC gymnastics and going to the Air Force.
That is so cool, so impressive. Being an athlete in itself is a busy enough schedule.
That's enough, you would think.
First pass, on a big handspring, double pike. Little short, stayed on her feet, nicely done. Just didn't look like she got enough rotation there. I love her fluidity in her movement, very pretty. Switch side popa, nicely done. Got that all the way around. Front leg, 2 front full. Great job. taking a few deep breaths for this last pass. Round off 1.5 front leg. Great job. Dances right out of it.
Flying a plane will be easy after doing that.
Great start to the rotation. Nice to see a 3-pass routine. College gymnastics has kind of moved to 2 passes, so it's nice to see the 3 passes. She's a little crunchy on that back handspring, so she had kind of loose form. I think that's what caused the short rotation there, but the second and third pass were great, nicely done, and dances right out of it.
Off and rolling in this third rotation, a 9.825 for Gustitis. This is Haley Klein with a 9.825 back on Sunday against Auburn.
I think the DJ is ready for the snowstorm, playing some Frozen. Haley changed her flight series this year to, she already had a difficult one last year, aerial layout step out, but now she has a standing layout step out, standing layout step out, so just up the difficulty a little bit. That series right there, no problems. She makes that look so easy. That is one of the hardest series in college gymnastics. Switch leap, straddle quarter. And honestly, very nice job not being distracted by the song, because I think I would be if I were up there right now. But they're used to this. They practice distraction routines in the gym all the time, playing some goofy sounds. Just a dismount, round off 1.5. Big step on that landing. Looked like her foot was a little close to the end of the beam. You can tell she's not very happy with that landing, but it was a great routine other than that. Just solid in her arm movement and placement on the beam. Right there, you can see her foot was a little close to the end, kind of making her go off to the side. She's got to stick with it mentally all the way through, but she did a great job. Another hit routine.
Sydney Crouch up for SEMO. I believe all the Gym Hawks work a SEMO chant into their floor routine.
Yes, and she just walked on, commanded the crowd immediately, hyping them up. Love that.
There's some presence.
Love it.
See the big brace on that left leg as well.
Punch Rudy to double stag. She's definitely having fun out there. I love when the away team, you can't tell that they are the away team. Play to the crowd as much as you can. Round off 1.5. Front full, you can tell she missed her punch going into that. Unfortunately had to take the fall. Like I said, unfortunately had that fall in her second pass. Just missed the punch going into the front full. First pass, beautifully done. Punch Rudy to the double stag. And here's where she had that fall. Round off 1.5. You can tell she was just had a little bit of loose form. Timing was a little off. That can happen when you haven't fully adjusted or you're rushing it, thinking too far ahead. They're going to want to drop that score.
Well, Cucci at the USA Gymnastics Development Program National Championships won the title on beam, and she had a 9.85 against Auburn last Sunday.
Of course she did. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Anyone that can make beam look like they're just tumbling on the floor, I give so much credit to. I did not look that confident up there. Handspring layout, step out. You can tell she was a little bit off, but was able to control her arms. Won't be much of a deduction there. Front aerial. Love the commanding arms there, just straight up and down. Switch leap. straddle half. She makes this all look so easy. Gearing up for the dismount. See if she can dial in the landing. Round off 1.5. Off to the side. Looked like she punched a little funky there too as well. Unfortunate because that was a very, very nice routine going until the dismount. Still not a fall, but they're gonna want to drop that and really narrow in on those mistakes. You can tell she was off to the side. Honestly, she's pretty lucky she even was able to rotate that fully.
Just to be able to stay on her feet.
Very impressive. Thought kept through it mentally, but she won't be too happy with the finish of that routine.
Be a scoring conversation as well. There's Jaden Casa waits. Lindenwood transfer, Arizona native. Had a few of these deliberations.
Yeah.
At a mandatory judge conference, if the two judges and their individual scores are outside of these ranges, and you can understand why.
Yes, yes. This one specifically, when you fall on a pass that has most of your bonus, obviously one judge might have credited, one judge might not have. And then from there, obviously they're gonna have difference in deduction. So that's what's taking a little bit long. They wanna come to a conclusion.
Is this more common early in the season than late?
Yeah, you know, the judges are also getting used to getting in the swing of things as well, trying to figure it out. And then by the end of the year, the girls' routines are pretty finalized. Obviously, we're not seeing as many falls throughout the rest of the time, just getting used to those lineups. But I do feel like at the beginning of the season, even in the Sunday meet, there were a few judges' conference that kind of can slow everything down.
So Jaden waiting patiently. She was not in the floor routine in their opening meet at the Show Me Center, their basketball arena, where they're hosting a couple of meets this season. I know they're happy with that. Have a bigger stage, so to speak, around the monster truck shows and all the basketball games.
All the other things. But it's really cool to continue to see the sport growing. Programs like SEMO being able to compete in their basketball arenas just shows the popularity that gymnastics has, and obviously I'm proud to see that growth.
No doubt. I think you see it all over the country, not just in the SEC, but in other conferences as well.
Double tuck, very nicely done. No movement in that front foot. She is staring me down right now.
I noticed.
I love it. Switch side full. There's that chant for you, Brett.
Got to get that in.
1.5, front half to straddle. Very nicely done. Great routine after having a teammate fall. She's very bouncy gymnast. Trujete, Popa gets that all the way around. That is a difficult leap combination, but with the two passes, you have to make sure you have all the bonus possible. Great routine.
Felt like SEMO needed that one.
Yes, they did. Hopefully that can carry the momentum onto the rest of the team. Fun little celebration with her coach. Here's that double tuck. Nicely done. Would like to see her point her toes just a little bit. Again, always being picky. But second pass, so clean. Great landings, like you said. That's what they needed to get this floor lineup back on track.
Cami Weaver hoping to improve upon a 9.275 against Auburn when she came off the beam. She said before the season a fifth year was kind of a no-brainer. Remember, she tore her ACL in her college debut as a freshman, so this is year 5 for Cami.
I know, that feels only like yesterday. It's crazy that she's been here for 5 years. And I know she was not happy with that fall last week.
Sits with you, I would imagine.
Oh,
for
yeah,
quite
especially
some time.
when she's a beamer. No problems there. Got a little bit of a smirk out of her. This is where she had the mishap last week. A little bit off, but danced right out of it. No problems there this week. Straddle to double stack. Difficult jump. Have to take your eyes off of the beam for a second. Can be scary and cause some issues, but no issues today. Just needs to get that landing. We haven't really seen the best landings on dismounts today. 1.5.
Until now.
Stuck. That's the Cami Weaver beam we all know. Wow.
I think that smile's a little bit bigger today, considering
yes.
what last Sunday was
Definitely.
like.
That's what she's capable of doing, and I know she thought about it, like you said, all week. Way to get the beam team back on track. She needed that for herself and for her team. Great job, Cami.
Big hug from Frankie Price and teammates. Well, now Reagan Sams gets to go on the floor. Remember the Bentonville native? Kennedy told us about her story in the Open. Her parents were in Dallas. They were hoping to come back and make the 7 p.m. meet. They can't be here. She still has a cheering section, but next year, sister Reese is coming to SEMO, but she's the oldest of 3 sisters, so that family sees a lot of gymnastics.
Yeah, that's awesome, and they said it's an amazing thing for their program to continue their family. It creates a culture. The coaches are very excited about having both of them on the team together next year, and I'm sure she is as well.
You wonder how many times she's been in this building or Barnhill watching Arkansas
yeah.
gymnastics.
Front double full E-pass right there. Nicely done. Coach Lawson just kept talking about her immediate impact. You know, she was at Ohio State last year. Just didn't really work out for her. Wasn't able to make the impact that she wanted, so she came to SEMO. Like I said, family culture there, and she's done a great job. Wow. Beautiful lines. Front handspring. Rudy back loud, step out. No issues. A little bit of bobble on that landing, but this is a great routine. Wow, great job. How special is that to be back in
She's
your
going to remember that for a
hometown?
long time.
For sure. I'm sure, like you said, she grew up coming to meets. To be able to compete on this floor, I'm sure is so special. Like you said, a little bit of a wobble there. Had a little bit too much juice. But great job. She is so important to that floor lineup.
Morgan Price, again, 6 national titles at Fisk, an all-around national champ in 24 and 25. Against Auburn on the beam, she had a 9.925. It wasn't even good for the event title. She finished second, but she's capable of finishing 1, 2, or 3 at every single event.
On every event, it is incredible. She's had a great career. Great job. A little bit off, but danced right out of it. You can tell she's a veteran. She covered up the mistake. Didn't let it get too much to her. Stack 2. Front aerial. No problems. Again, we talked about confidence. I think I've used that word a lot today, but she just exudes it up on every event.
Poise, composure, I think they all come into play.
All of those. Beautiful leap series. Finishing up with her dismount. Round off double full, a little bit more difficult than we've seen from other gymnasts today. Wow. Wow, there's not much left to say there. Like I said, she had a few little bobbles that she covered up with dance. I don't think the judges will really take any deductions on that. See right here, that layout step out. Her form is so beautiful. You could tell she was off a little bit, but she was able to dance out of it. And then that double full. Her landing position is just incredible. That should definitely match Sunday's score.
Yeah, just so much fun to see the Price sisters competing together. This is Nia Reeder. She had a strong 9.85 in their opening meet. Remember, this is her 5th year coming back from injury a couple of years ago and surgery, and this year it has clicked. Let's see what she can do here at Bud Walton.
They said that floor is the event to watch for her. She shows just about every personality, is what Coach Lawson said. Front tuck through to double tuck. Little short on that landing. Didn't have to put her hands down though. Dancing to her teammates. Switch side full. Would have liked to see her get a little bit more height on that leap, but she did make it all the way around. Front full, front leg. Great job. She knows where that camera is.
A performer.
Great job. She's definitely happy, like you said, in her 5th year. So impressive.
Just so satisfying to come back and put it all together after injury in so many years in the gym.
Yeah, opened up a little bit early in that double tuck, caused her to have her chest down and have that mishap on the landing. But like I said, not a fall, and then able to finish that routine very strong throughout.
Jocelyn Robertson up next. Pre-med, straight A student, world championships, and a 9.95 last week against Auburn. Have I missed anything?
No, all I'm going to say is it should have been a 10 last week. But I think I've said that about Jocelyn a few times so far in her career. Morgan Price set her up very nice with a 9.925 before. You can tell this is where her elite experience really helps her out. Switch leap to tuck, back tuck. I would have liked to see that switch leap maybe hit 180 a little bit more. But she just dances in and out like she's on the sidewalk. Series coming up, very difficult. Side aerial layout, step out. Great job. She is just so rock solid on that series. Calls those hogs.
Great crowd participation.
Just a dismount front full. Wow. She has just carbon copied that routine every week. They
It
want
can't be
the
that
10.
easy, can it?
No, that is not an easy routine. The crowd is chanting 10. Great job. And she just nails the landing. We're on 10 watch here.
Her reaction was something else once she stuck that landing. Well, the crowd will be abuzz as Taylor Engel gets her performance on the floor. She is a Coppell, Texas native. And by the way, she works in a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader tribute in every single floor
Wow.
routine.
Love that.
Taylor won the event title in Chicago with the 9.8 last week in the Windy City Invite.
First pass, round off, 2.5 front tuck. Very different. I think she stayed in bounds there. I didn't see the flag go up. Big breath before this next pass. Front lay to Rudy. And I think I know where, yep, the DCC coming in here.
There you go.
Switch half Popa. Beautiful leap. Another solid performance from Taylor.
As SEMO has come to expect.
First pass here, round off, 2.5, front tuck, stayed in bounds, little bit of loose legs in that 2.5. Front lay, Rudy, great routine. Able to drop that earlier score in the lineup, so great job to the end of that lineup.
Well, Jocelyn Robertson got a 9.95, and now Priscilla Park will have an exhibition on the beam.
And Priscilla has actually gone 9.975 before, and that's who we have in exhibition. Is pretty impressive. Like I said, she is working off of some injury.
Well, she's cold as ice.
Fitting for this weekend. Layout, step out, super solid. Very difficult lead series. Switch leap, switch leap. Bit of a bobble there. Let that right shoulder dip down a little bit. You want to keep it as square as possible. Just the dismount, side aerial, back 1.5. Stuck landing. That was a great routine. Just that bit of a bobble on the leap series. But again, we've talked about depth with Arkansas. Another great routine that could be slotted in the 1-2-6 scroll.
There's no doubt. Arkansas with a 49.4 on beam. That's their highest score through the 3 rotations to this point. An exhibition for SEMO on the floor. Kaylin Hamilton. She was in the lineup in the 2 spot in week 1 at a 9.675. And the Springfield native getting her chance to compete in an exhibition.
Two and a half, great job. Very clean. Gearing up for the next pass. Front lay, front pull. Great job, dances right out of it. Leap series, little off center there. Another 3-pass routine. Taking that deep breath. 1.5 front lay. Great job working out of it. She was a little bit high in that 1.5. You want to make the last flip the highest, but great job. Probably would have loved to have that in their lineup today.
I think you're right.
But it will be great to see her hopefully back in lineup in the next couple weeks.
Taylor Ingles, 9825, the highest score on the floor. Let's check in with Kennedy. She's standing by with Jordan Weber.
Coach, with every rotation, your team has been able to pull away with the scores. What has pleased you about their performance today?
Well, you know, it hasn't been an ideal weekend, rescheduling the meet at a different time and all that, so I'm really proud that they're still coming in here and treating it like it's Friday night at 7:30 with energy and just continuing to find a way to get better. That was really the mission of tonight, is be better than we were last week, and they're doing just that.
And for the fourth rotation, an advantage of being at home is finishing on floor. What are you hoping to see from this lineup?
Well, we've got some changes in our lineup from last week, some people getting some opportunities, so just want to see some more hit routines and really just dialing in little details that we've been getting dinged on in our scores from last week. So hopefully to see little cleaner routines and finish this meet off. We've got a good score going so far.
Thank you, Coach. Excited to see what's on the floor. Back to you guys.
Yeah, it's all about the details, and we're going to find out about Morgan Price. We're going to learn about the meaning of her floor routine. She's due up second in Arkansas's lineup,
which is Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I'm a part of that sorority because I believe it aligns with what I stand for as an individual. Its mission is to cultivate highly scholastic and ethical standards. We promote unity all around, and we do service to all mankind. And also, I'm a legacy, which means that my mother is a part of the sorority as well. My dad was a part of a fraternity called Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, so that was also kind of a reason why I wanted to join a sorority as well. I've done a couple of different routines. I've done a routine to Beyonce. I've done one kind of dedicated to HBCUs and like the marching band kind of, and so I thought for my last year I wanted to do something that represented me and also just kind of like my family and my legacy as well. I wanted to dedicate this routine to my sorority because I really enjoy giving back to my community, and it's just something, a big accomplishment that I've always wanted to be a part of, and I love just being part of the sorority, so I wanted to, you know, pay tribute to it and just kind of show off my dance moves that we do in the sorority. So I gave Caitlin a couple songs that we stroll to, which is like the dance moves that we do in the sorority. And so I gave her those ideas, and then she thought of a song that would go really well with it, which was Sticky. So we kind of brainstormed, came up with a couple dance moves, and you know, it all came together perfectly. So when I hold up my pinkies in my routine, that is something that AKAs do, and it is basically a symbol of sisterhood and pride, and just represents our sorority.
Some 2016 vibes.
I'm scared for this spread to know what's coming up.
Look at Reagan Sams 10 years ago, and Cammie Weaver as well. I think we're going to see a Sydney McGlone at some point, but there's Leah Smith going back to the H-Town days, and there's Sydney. You look fierce in that picture.
Freshman year, man.
Was that Does it feel like yesterday, or does it feel
yeah.
like 10 years ago?
A little bit of both. When you say 10 years, I feel really old. A lot has changed. We were in Barnhill, they're in Bud. It's been really fun to see the program grow, obviously, but I miss it a lot, but my body does not.
I agree. I have a feeling you're exactly right with that. The growth of this program in college gymnastics in that decade is something, and this is what we've seen today. Arkansas has built their lead, but we saw a 9-9 from Price on the vault and a 9-9 from Leah Smith on the bars, and then, of course, Jocelyn Robertson, her incredible bars performance, or beam.
It's been a really good meet. I still think that they have a lot of improvement. I know Coach Weaver mentioned wanting to improve each week. I think that they could improve even more on beam, and to go 49-4 was very impressive, so I'm excited to see Ford finish up for Arkansas.
This arena always gets a little loud when Arkansas is ready to perform on the floor. And again, I've been impressed with the turnout today. I thought it would be friends and family. It's not the case. And you get a little bit of that floor feeling right now.
Yeah, it's always a floor party regardless of the size of the crowd. But we do have beam first.
We do. And Naya Reeder up. Remember, she is the young lady whose degree was in trauma and resiliency studies. She had a 9.8 right out of the gates in the season debut. 9.75 last week in Chicago.
The DJ choices have been really fun today.
It's throwing you off your game just a bit.
A little bit. Just because I'm putting myself in their position, and if I heard this during beam,
You'd almost want to stop and say,
yeah, say, hey, can you change it real quick?
Get a little different feeling going.
Great acro series, regardless. Front toss to back handspring. Hitch kick to switch side half, switch side quarter. Can't do the math today, Brett. I love seeing her talk to herself, reassuring herself up on that beam. Got to stay in your zone. Front toss to beat jump. Great job.
I think she was talking to her hand.
Hey, whatever works.
No charge for the stereo.
Full turn. Gearing up for that dismount. Gainer pike. Stuck landing. Great first beam routine. Way to start it off. Regardless of what the DJ is playing.
She overcame that uniqueness.
There's that dismount. I'd like to see her maybe absorb a little bit more. That's not a deduction, but love her reaction.
She's fired up.
there. That's what you need in a beam lead off. Thank you,
She's
Jesus.
still talking to everybody. Upstairs and beyond. This is Haley Klein. She improved from a 9.825 in Minnesota to a 9.85 last Sunday.
Front tuck, through to double back. Great job. Covered up the landing, dancing out of it. Now it's time for her to just relax. Breathing throughout her choreography. I love that she does the Shushanova out of her leaps. Minimizes any deductions on landing. She has just grown so much, even from last year to this year. It's been so great to see her play a crucial part in every lineup. Flora's always been one of my favorites to watch Haley on.
She made eye contact with Jordan Weaver for some reassurance just a moment ago.
Last pass here. Front leg, front full, great job. Sometimes she twists a little bit early, can be off on the height there, but no problems today. The Crowd loves it.
Good start on the floor.
Phenomenal lead off for Haley. She should be very happy with that routine. Here's that first pass, front through to double tuck. I love her form throughout the round of back handspring. And here's that pass. Rushed it just a hair. You wouldn't be able to tell that. Just from experience, I can tell when she rushes it, but great job.
We're going to go from a Haley to an Ailey, a Klein to a Keen.
Wow.
Here you go. Should have 9.625 in week 1.
Switch side. Very confident landing. Back hamstring, back layout. Great job. She looked like she could have been a little bit off, but no problems there. Straddle 3/4. She's got a great routine going. Just needs to finish up this dismount, get the landing. Round off, double full. Looks like she twisted almost into the round off, but a hit is a hit when it comes to beam. Here's that series. Great job. You can tell she's very confident, but you can tell she almost went around the side on your round off. You want to kick straight over the top so that it can be as square as possible on the beam. And then she twisted early. So that's why, like, maybe a little bit crazy, but other than that, great routine.
We heard the story of Morgan Price before we came back out of break. She's had the same score on the floor each of the first 2 weeks of a 9.875. Must be tough knowing that your sister is one of the more incredible floor performers in the country.
But she's a competitor, like we said. Round and handspring. Double pipe. Wow, that's the best landing I've seen of that pass for her so far this season.
Just the elevation, too.
Yes, and she's so clean throughout. Here's what she talked about, dedication to her sorority, the strolling right here. Front lay, front full, great job. She's got a great routine going so far. Beautiful leaps. Very difficult combo right there. And she still has her third pass. Two and a half right here. Wow. Little bit of a big step there, but that was the cleanest routine I've seen so far from Morgan, and I know she's just going to continue to get better and better each week. Great job.
Let's take a look at all 3 passes.
Like I said, I think this is the cleanest I've seen her do this pass. She's been opening up a little bit early. No problems there today. Great job working right out of that. And then here's this last pass. 2.5, very difficult pass to end with. Her form is textbook in that 2.5. You could tell she almost had a little bit too much energy, which is great this early in the season.
This is Leah Parton from West Des Moines. She also walked her dad out on military night. She did not compete in week 1, but had a 9.825 on the beam last week in Chicago.
Series right here. Back handspring, let step out. Great job. switch leap, double stag. Great job. Looks like she got that 180 and full release of her head. Beat jump, split 3/4. Oh, unfortunate fall. Looked like she just doubted that landing. She had it. Got a little bit too ahead of herself. Step on that dismount. Unfortunately had that fall, had a really good routine going. Like I said, I think she just kind of thought ahead, thought she had the skill, and then didn't really focus on the landing today.
Coach Lawson sort of joked with us this week that she just wanted her athletes to land on their feet at the appropriate time.
Yes.
Yes.
You can see right there, she didn't make it all the way around. She definitely rushed it, trying to get to the finish. They're gonna want the rest of the lineup to have a hit, finish on a good note.
It was a 9.875 for Morgan Price. Jordan did tell Kennedy she had a little different lineup, but that includes Cucci, who was not competing on the floor last week.
And Allie brings some difficulty to the floor. They said she's still getting used to competing at the NCAA level. Double layout. Great job, no problems today. She's been rushing that a little bit. One thing they really mention, as I said, she's still getting used to it, is that in club, you warm up, you have a bad warm up, you're still going. And when you have depth like Arkansas does, you have a bad warm up, you might not make lineup.
No, it's a great point.
So
it takes the competition to an entirely new level.
And it's really pushing those to stay in lineup that want to stay in lineup. Great job so far. She doesn't need to get ahead of herself here. Run through to double tuck. Stuck. Wow, that is the routine she needed to get her confidence back on this event. Great job by Allie. I am so excited for her career.
So are her teammates, can you tell?
Here's that double layout. She just jogs into it. Very impressive. Little bit of a pike down that comes from rushing into the double A. Shouldn't be too big of a deduction there, but then that last pass, wow.
She was delighted with the ending of that performance. Reagan Sams, the Bentonville product, up next. She had a 9.825, which tied with two of her teammates for the event title last week in Chicago. Also saw her on the floor where Reagan had a 9.775. Sister Reese again coming to SEMO next year. I feel like we should be following the family and filming them coming from Dallas and racing home and missing this performance.
Yeah. I'm sure they're probably watching on a phone or something. Hopefully avoiding all of the snow and safely driving back.
Correct. Another deliberation or conference before Reagan Sams gets her chance on the beam. Looks like the conference is over. Reagan's probably been waiting to compete or perform at Bud Walton for many years, so she'll just wait a little bit
just a little bit longer.
Here we go with Reagan. She's sparkly in the lights, though, isn't she?
She is. It's like we're ready to go.
Now we're really ready.
Front aerial. Unfortunate fall.
And that's where you wonder if that weight just took her a little bit out of her game mode.
Yeah, and that's one thing Coach Lawson said. She really wants them to focus on their bubble. Unfortunate second fall. She just needs to take a deep breath, reset.
How hard is that to try and reset after not one fall but two?
It's definitely difficult. You already kind of know that this routine hopefully will be dropped, but that doesn't matter. You still want to prove that you're able to get back up there. She has some beautiful beam work too. Side aerial, nicely done. Very confident there. Just looks like it took her a little bit to settle in. To the pike gainer, stuck. Unfortunately, she had those falls, but you can tell the potential is there to hit a very nice beam routine. It's early in the season, figuring out all the jitters, getting used to these big arenas like we said.
Let's check in with Kennedy about Lauren Williams.
Brett, Lauren mentioned to me that more than any personal success, her goal has always been to be a leader on this team. Last season, leading through encouragement and support with an injury, and this season as a competitor.
Well, Jordan said prior to the start of the season, I can just tell she's ready to go. She loves competition. She's missed competing. And after last week against Auburn, Lauren Williams said, have fun, go big, no fear at all.
Yep.
Way to live life.
And this is the strongest I've seen Lauren. Pull in. Nicely done. Keeps it in bounds.
She about came into our scores table, our broadcast location.
Really playing it up to the student section, trying to get the hype in here.
I think she's showing off a little bit too.
And of course, her signature, she's had the worm in every single one of her floor routines. Looks like she's challenging the judges right there.
She's making eye contact with the students, the judges, some of the fans.
Just this last pass, she upgraded that this year. Round up 1.5, front full. Wow, great job. She has just been so consistent with this comeback and delivered another big routine for the gym bags.
What a finish.
Great job. Take a look at this first pass here, that full in. She's really improved her form there. The crowd's chanting for 10. I love how flared that front full is. The last three in this lineup are just so incredible.
Yeah, it's one after another. That's what makes this floor exercise and rotation so much fun here at Bud Walton. Seen Jaden competing on multiple events today, now on the beam.
Difficult triple series, handspring layout. She had it, she just needed to be confident in that landing, so she took that little bit of a bobble. Just needs to settle in here. You can tell she's thinking ahead. Hat leap, switch side hat, quarter. Gearing up for that dismount. with the stick landing. Great job, great beam routine after the person in front of you had some falls. Get them back on track.
Here's Frankie Price, back from an Achilles tendon injury suffered during the NCAA regional semis. Chris Brooks said yesterday that maybe she came back a little bit early and we needed to see her ready physically and emotionally, and she said, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, she felt good in the warm-up, and he said, so we let her fly and go, and it was one of the best routines I've seen from Frankie. And I know that was such a special moment. I had tears, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing anyone come back from injury is always so fun.
And Lauren Williams, back from the elbow injury, had a 9.925 preceding Frankie Price.
That's a huge double A right here. Double A, huge! She has really found that landing this year. And to know that that was the pass that she injured herself, and to have it look better than before is incredible.
To not have that in the back of your mind and to hit it is something else.
Huge leaps. Now she just needs to have fun. Don't think too far ahead.
I think she can do that.
Frankie's known to have just a little bit of fun out there. Settle down, going into this final pass. Front full, front lay. Wow. I know the crowd's gonna be chanting 10 for that one. So clean, just such an inspiration. Double A, just puts it in place.
I think Sis was watching her on that final pass.
And that's so fun to have her. And you can tell she was almost surprising herself there.
Robertson yet to go. This is Taylor Engel. She had a fall in week 1 in the season opener. Nice bounce back last week in Chicago with a 9.775. Had a chance to compete in the Tuscaloosa NCAA Regional in the all-around. Came back with the idea, hey, we have the same skills, we just need more confidence.
Yes, and she had a triple series right there. Used up the full length of the beam. A little bit of a bobble. Switch leap, straddle quarter. Want to see her hit that 180 in the switch leap. Front leg was a little low. Great full turn. Just the dismount left. Round off. Double full. Stuck landing. No issues today for Taylor. She's so excited. See that triple series right here. Handspring layout. Uses a full length, like I said, right on the edge. Great job. Just that bobble there. Double full. Great landing position. They are excited about that one.
Well, we didn't get to see Robertson on the vault. She's working her way back. They want her to be a complete full go when she gets back to the vault, but we do get to see her on the floor. She had a 9.85 on Sunday.
Huge first pass here. Double A. Controlled landing. You can tell she's a little bit off on that step. She always amazes me with how much height she gets. She is a very small gymnast.
Big things come in small packages.
Yes, they do, for sure. Switch side Copa. Nicely done. I love how she really shows this position. High energy going into this final pass. Front through the double tuck. Front leg. Sorry. Double tuck. Wow, great job. She's been a little bit short on those landings the last 2 weekends. No issues today.
Maybe the loudest ovation of this meet.
Great routine. What a great floor lineup. They still have a lot of room for improvement, but man, this early on in season, they look incredible.
What an advantage it is at home to be able to have that lineup to finish out your meet. Frankie Price had the 9.925. Lauren Williams had the 9.925. Still some exhibitions to go. Kennedy Fisher gets her chance.
Gearing up for the series. Unfortunate. Just rushed it. You could tell she was off in the air. Arms went a little bit wide. You want to keep them narrow in the beam. Switch leap. Switch side. A little bit short on that 180. Like I said, just looks like she hasn't settled in. Full turn. Nice deep breath. Wow, round off 1.5. Step back. Took like one step into that. That was very impressive. I did not expect her to do her dismount.
Well, Arkansas is going to have not one, but 2 exhibitions on the floor. So you see Robertson score. Sydney, how about 3 straight 9.925s to finish out that
Very
lineup?
impressive. And like I said, I still think that they have some room for improvement. So to know that they can only go up from there, they are a team. They're a scary team this year.
Well, Arkansas is 49.525, their highest score of the 4. What should we expect with Cammie Weaver getting her chance with an exhibition?
So fun to see Cammie in lineup, even though it's an exhibition, but as a 5th year, floor is not an easy one to just jump back into. Front through the double tuck, a little bit short on the landing. Side calf, straddle jump. Nicely done. Gets that all the way around. Next pass. Round up 1.5. Front leg. Good job getting that to her feet. She was a little loose going into the front leg. Just had her timing off a little bit. What a hit routine. Like I said, this is her first year even in floor lineup as a 5th year. Good to use later in the season.
It's one of the real benefits of a non-conference meet early in the season. Get even more contributions or opportunities to perform in front of a big crowd. Even when we start at 1 o'clock rather than 7 because of Mother Nature. We're also going to get to see another Bentonville product. How about Riley Jandorf? She had an exhibition on the floor at Minnesota in that opening meet with a 9.775, but she is a floor specialist who could earn her way into the rotation. I know she's not competing directly with Reagan Sams, but I know they've been looking forward to the opportunity to be inside the same building for the same meet. Kind of a dramatic beginning for Riley.
I know she's been waiting for this opportunity as well. Being a hometown kid herself. Around off. Wow, double layout. I haven't seen that from her yet. A little bit short. Rushed it, but man.
So again, this is her first chance to perform here at Bud Wolf.
I can only imagine the emotion she's going through right now.
Probably been a long wait for this chance.
And I remember her being a little camper when I was on the team.
Right?
So yeah, it's very full circle moment here. Round up 1.5, front lay, good stack jump, great job for her first time out there. Can only leave room for improvement. And like we said earlier, she's in that 7, 8, 9, but she's pushing those 1 through 6, and she wants that chance to be 1 through 6. Great job. I know that was super special for her.
Well, that's going to do it. And Sitting Arkansas finished with the 197.475, which improves upon what they did against Auburn, which I think is part of what they wanted to see today, even under these strange circumstances.
Yeah, with a short week to improve on your score from Sunday is super impressive. Like I said, I pointed out some spots that I think they could have improvement. I think Beam 49-4, great. I still think that Beam team is unstoppable when they're fully hitting on all cylinders. But great thing going here at Arkansas, 197 again to count, and watch out, country, I think.
Arkansas's been in that top 10, continuing to climb. We'll be back in a few weeks for more SEC gymnastics right here on SEC Network Plus. So that will do it today. Thanks for tuning in 6 hours early with that storm on its way. But thanks to Sydney Lemmerhurt and Kennedy Smith and our entire crew for all their work today. I'm Brett Dolan, thanking you for tuning in. Arkansas scores a 197.475. They take the meet. Stay safe. We'll see you soon. Good afternoon.